What is up, guys? Frugal BC coming at you with another live stream today. Yes, plenty to talk about. Wish I could say that the crypto markets were taken off, but they are not exactly doing that yet. But we will dive into all that news today. I got Seawill coming on really, in about a half hour, and I'm streaming right from the Restream app, so hopefully that will alleviate the issues that we had last week. Got some chat already. Gary loves algo says, not being late to today's show. Yep. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And like I said, oh, I got to check this out. Hold on a second. Just want to make sure. Oh, why is it doing that? Okay. Yeah, I wish it would just stay maximized. That's really annoying. But yeah, we are streaming. We are live on Kick, on X, and on YouTube, of course. So welcome to everybody who's watching on all those platforms. Like I said, we got let's see what coming up in a little bit. Lots of interesting news, including Hawk Tua. I'm going to save some of that for when Seawell comes on. We're going to talk about the Hawk Tua thing because there's a new podcast with her. I haven't watched it, but I've seen some clips. Probably gonna pop that on tonight. And apparently, there's a lot of drama around that, so we'll get into that. Yeah, and then yeah, some really interesting HBAR news. We had a pretty big press conference. I would have loved to have live streamed it, but that is my office day, which will only be the case for 2 more weeks. So that's interesting. That's coming up. And then when stuff like that happens, I can actually jump on it, which will be really fun. Yeah, for whatever reason, it defaults to the smaller screen view. I don't really know why that is on Restream. Restream looks a lot different than it did when I last used it, but I wasn't using Streamlabs because Streamlabs I couldn't consistently get desktop audio. I don't know why that is. Sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. So I'm going to play around with this, but I'm still going to go from OBS when I stream normally. So this is just going to be for just for when I have a guest on. And next week, possibly, I don't know this yet, but possibly I'm going to have a video from Adri from the Algorand Foundation talking about the next phases for governance, what that's going to look like going forward. Andrew Costello, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here. And yeah, you can comment whether you're on X or Kick or YouTube. I will see it, or at least I'm supposed to. It should show a little icon where you're commenting from on my screen here. So we'll get to that. But yeah, it was the press conference from the White House with David Sachs. Pretty interesting. We'll dive into a little bit of that today. I've got some things queued up for that, and like I said, we're gonna try to save as much news for when Seawell gets on as we can because I think it's fun to have more than one person react. And then, so what happened was I was trying to get Adre from the foundation on. They offered she's in Australia though, so it's hard to match up time, so to speak. I did that once with the guy from Cosmos Champ, or Cosmic Champs. Shoot, what's that guy's name? I don't even know if he's with Cosmic. I never see anything out of him anymore. But he was in Australia. Actually, Dale Forward is in Australia too, and he's been on a few times. So I don't know. She apparently works really odd hours. So they offered, well, you can either talk to this other person. I didn't know that person. I think he's Italian, or I could send them questions and she could answer. So I just sent the questions and she says she's going to be recording them. So we've been in contact. That'll be cool. We'll have that coming up. I think that's pretty interesting. But otherwise, if we don't run that, so I might just run that on the stream next week. Obviously, I'd rather have a live person to talk to and ask follow-up questions and stuff. But we'll make it work, and hoping to have. I think I've got a good in with the foundation where I can start getting more foundation people onto the stream, and I got a good contact to start making that happen. I want to start doing that for other other chains as well, like Sui and HBAR that I cover. Even Near Protocol would be fun. Obviously, I can't ask as in-depth questions as I can with Algorand. Peter Vitzko says, "Algo with rockets." Say thanks, Peter. Appreciate you being here. But I still think it'd be interesting. I kind of want to start getting things to be a little more. I want to add a little more variety. So, um, yeah, we'll be working on that for sure. Anyway, I want to dive into the markets. It's always good to see what's going on. I think Coin Market Cap has some really interesting stuff. So let's dive in here. And by the way, guys, if you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, be sure to do so. Yeah. Also, oh, can I move this? Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. I was hoping I could like drag this. Oop, here we go. I can do that. Okay. I can even change the size and stuff too. I'm gonna take my name off too. That's annoying. Okay. Well, it's still there. Whatever. Okay. So, by the way, guys, if you hadn't hit that like and subscribe button, please feel free to do so. Now, remember, you don't have to smash it. You just press it gently, and it works just fine that way too. And we are brought to you by non-fungible domains. If you want that .algo address, best way to do it is non-fungible domains. They got faults, segments, all that great stuff. So be sure to check them out in the description below, non-fungible domains. And we are brought to you by Marcus Aurelius, a meme coin and NFT project on the Algorand blockchain. They are trying to spread the word about Stoicism and bringing that philosophy to the masses. So big shout out to them, and be sure to check that out in the description below. Marcus Aurelius, cute little cat memes. I love it. Hested on Kick. Looks like another. Well, there's a lot of spammers on Kick. It's like you're so excited to finally get a Kick comment, and then it turns out to be a spammer. I do have more followers on Kick than I used to, though, 6 now. So if you want to go follow me on Kick, I'd love that. It's just kick.com/FrugalBC. Now, as you can see, I mean, this is one of the reasons I like using OBS, because this is still like the screen is kind of blurry, and that's sort of a bummer. So that I'm not so wild about. But for guests, yeah, it's really hard to bring in a guest on OBS. So it's like, and I don't really have a good way to test it. um, I did test it out. Well, the problem is I could test it out, but yeah, it's a long story. We'll get into that. Let's just go through this here. I'm going to start with the fear and greed index because, for us being in a bull market, we are really, really pretty solidly into fear territory. We're not even in that middle zone, which is funny because we were in greed territory on March 11th of 2022, almost a year ago. And it kind of makes you wonder, I thought we'd be seeing some action by now. Now, there's some people that say that we're, the cycles are lengthening. So you just have to wait a little bit. And, every cycle has been a little longer. I think that's fair. But you never really know what's going to happen. You can't necessarily bank on that. But yeah, it's funny, last we were much more. What is the second number? Oh, it's just Bitcoin price. Yeah, so the it's kind of funny because it was really tracking the fear greed index was really tracking the price of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's still actually been halfway decent. I mean, it's sitting around that. It doesn't feel that way, but it's spent a lot of time over 100K. It's been back down a little bit now. But the fear index, I mean, we're at like a 35. That's crazy, you know. So it's actually kind of a decoupling. You'd expect it to stay relatively stable with it, and it was actually higher. It was higher when we were running up And it didn't really dip that much compared to now. Well, I guess it did dip a little more. Yeah, so I guess if you get these periods of stagnation, it just falls off. Raffaello says, "Good morning, good morning. Welcome, Rafa. Welcome to the stream." So yeah, I mean, I just I guess I'm a little surprised because maybe I wasn't paying as much attention in past cycles because this is probably the first cycle that I've really dived into crypto without just like kind of buying and going, "Oh, cool, it's up. I'll take a little profit." Let's see what else we got. Yeah, and the market cap overall is actually up right now. So is the coin market cap 100. This is a good index to look at. So that's at a good was all time over 24 hours. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Up about 2% over the past day. What's in this thing anyway? Hedera, Sui is in it. Is it just the top 100? We're gonna have Algorand down here. Yeah, yeah, we do. Yeah, so I guess it's just an index of whatever's in the top 100. Yeah, Gala is still at 2 cents. This is a funny chart. I rip on Gala a lot. Not so much. It's not so much about the coin. It's just the game company is like just sort of been a disaster. Played. What's it done over a year? I mean, it's actually down a little bit on the whole year. That's not good. We had some run ups to 8 cents last year. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I used to really enjoy playing Townstar, and then it just, man. I mean, it just seems like a team that's like. Here's the thing: they'd have these. It was a fun game. It's not the most technical game in the world, but it's fun because it's fun from a strategy level, and the competition aspect is really fun. I kind of like that it's a chill game that you can kind of put a podcast on and play, so you can work your way through your backlog of podcasts, or at least I have one. I always have a backlog of podcasts. And it's kind of just like a farming game, but it's also like a cash flow game. It's like a cash flow simulator. That's what I like about it. It's almost like you're running a business. They say town, but it's really more of a farm, I think, or I don't know. Anyway, you have money coming in and money going out to pay your workers, and you have to be really careful about how you balance. And if you scale too fast, you get kind of screwed. Your town can run out of money, and then you got to sell off assets to try to get the town running again. It's a good game overall. Like the concept of it is really good. It's just poor execution. There were bugs in the game that were the same bugs that persisted for like a couple of years after they launched the new version, the new Godot version, which was that 2 years ago now, I think. I think it was. Yeah, 2 years ago. Jeez. And yeah, I went back and played it probably like last summer. I started playing more of it again, even though I was kind of disgusted with the whole thing. And yeah, it's just that some of those bugs were still existing, and there were new bugs too. And it seemed like they always had time to get their NFTs out, but they didn't have time to actually fix the game. So it kind of doesn't surprise me. They've had so many problems with lawsuits and things like that. That yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. Like the two founders were suing each other. Some of the game companies, like the Spider Tanks company, was suing Gala. Some other, like I think I don't want to speak out of turn. I remember that one for sure. There were others though. So yeah, it doesn't really surprise me that the price has been flat. And in fact, I'd like to bring on Lycan Warlord because he's a big Gala guy. I'd say one of the biggest frustrations I had was also that I won some Gala, so I have like 2,000 Gala on my account or something like that, and I can't do anything with it. It's stuck there. It won't transfer. I know I had the transfer code. It kept in a special spot. I had it saved on my computer as well, so I knew it was the right passcode, and it still just wouldn't work. So yeah, not a fan. Also, like I had Town Coin, their old coin, and you're supposed to be able to convert it. That never worked either. Like nothing ever worked. That's the thing about this is my biggest frustration with crypto, by the way, is so much stuff on here. It's like it sounds great, and then you try it out and it just flat out doesn't work. So when people wonder why I do so much content about Algorand, it's because when I do stuff on Algorand, it typically works. I can't say that's always. There's definitely been things. The C3 app, like I used it and it just didn't work, and I was like, okay, don't know what's going on here. And it turned out I think it wasn't supposed to work in the US, but like, why would you not have some kind of message on there telling people? My theory of crypto in general is that I think a lot of engineers are attracted to crypto, and I don't think they always have brought UI people with them. And because of that, a lot of these things are built like an engineer would build them, and not made for people who aren't engineers. MetaMask is probably honestly the perfect example of that. I think it's like one of the worst UIs of any crypto wallet I've ever seen, and it hasn't gotten much better. I really hate it. All right, let's get so that's the coin market cap 100, which I like to look at. I think that's kind of a nice little snapshot of how crypto's doing. What else we got? We're gonna go like directly to Algorand too. So yeah, let's see who's gained the most over 24 hours. And that would be Flare, IOTA, Mantra, XRP. There's one I've more familiar with. Ondo. I've been hearing a lot of talk about Ondo lately, which I think is interesting. And Stellar, which is Stellar Lumens, is up. Injective, XTC. Oh god. So I have a troll who like constantly comments on stuff when I do Algorand videos, and he's like a huge XTC fan. I hate that it's doing well, just because I hate giving him the satisfaction. What is it at anyway? Yeah, 61 market cap right now. What's it? Well, actually, okay, all time. What's that? Not or 20%. All right, not bad. Let's go back to our list. Injective, Quant. Yeah, Gala's in that list. I'm in top 10 for gainers over the last 24 hours. Algorand down in 14th, up 4.59%, right behind Hedera in 13th, which is up 4.85%, sitting at. This is crazy, by the way. So Hedera was like during the bear market was around 4 to 6 cents typically, where Algorand was around 8 to 9 cents, and they're actually getting pretty close now. 24 cents versus 28 cents. That would be kind of wild if the price flipped Algorand. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's not far away, which is why it's market cap, because there's 50 billion HBAR and only 10 billion Algorand. Every time I say billion, it sounds like I'm saying million. I don't know why that is. Yeah, Solana's here. Solana's under $200. That's crazy. Now, I will say I bought Solana. The bulk of my Solana was about 10% of this price, so I did very well in Solana. I don't like it as a coin to use, which reminds me, I don't know if any of you guys watched my Helium Mobile videos, but it's like the only Solana-based thing that I use. It's pretty good. As a phone service, it's pretty good. And then you can walk. If you walk and map hexes, which really doesn't, it's even on days when I barely get to walk because it's too cold or whatever, I never miss a day. It's really easy to get those 40 hexes. You used to get this mobile token, and then you could pay your bill with the mobile token. But now they switched to Helium, and I don't have enough Helium so I have not enough mobile to pay the bill and not enough Helium. So I'm probably going to have to, pay another out of pocket, but it's only like $20 a month. So it's like pretty cheap service. Even, yeah, cool. Rowan, welcome to the show, by the way, Mr. AO. And Rowan Villanelle says, Algo Za, Rocket Face, all that kind of good stuff. So right on. So that's a project that's being built on Solana, but I don't know. The transactions do fail. I probably the last couple times it's been pretty good. But yeah, every once in a while it would not work, and then I'd have to I just kind of, and then if it did work that once, it wasn't going to work for the next hour or something. So I just do it the next day. But I will say Helium Mobile has been a really good service. The onboarding sucks. You can watch my review video, by the way, if you want to check that out. Save that for later on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to wonder. I think maybe it might be worth doing another review on it. Maybe I'll wait for it till it's like a year old exactly, which might be like next summer. So, yeah, just see if there's anything interesting in the gain column. Like EOS has still been around. This is crazy. The EOS is. I mean, I'm pretty sure I remember EOS when I was in crypto the first time in 2017 when I first started buying. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it looks like it was launched in July of 2017. And it's nothing great has happened since, but it's pretty flat. I mean everything was kind of flat here, so to be fair. How did it get? It was like $21. Now it's sitting at like 60 cents. How about for a year? Yeah, it's actually down on the year. Still 75th place market cap wise. Is there a lot of coins? 2.1 billion total supply. It's an odd number to choose. And it was about 75%. Pretty close. Probably about right about that 70 some percent released circulating. So yeah, I don't know. Who knows? It could be a good buy, but I don't want to say anything for sure. Yeah, Maker's been around a while. ICP, Litecoin. Yeah, we're kind of getting down on the list here, but yeah, I just kind of want to look at that. Let's go over to the Algorand stuff. Gotta keep an eye out because I know Sewell will be coming in soon. Just look at the price action here a little bit on Algorand. Yeah, it's been a downward trend, that's for sure. Laurent Schroeder says, hi there, hope Algorand will moon. Yep, I do too, and welcome to the show, Laurent. And Rowan says, I hope for bigger dips so I can run my own node. Yeah, that's a good point. So if you're like hoping to run a node and you haven't, I'm still debating it. The thing is, I think I'd have to get another computer. I don't think you can run. The requirements are really low, but I don't know if you can run it in the background while doing other stuff on your computer, or if that would slow it down way too much, both on the computing end, both on the node end and on your own end. Maybe like a really high performing computer. I don't have that. I do have a new one. I just got a little mini thing here. It's way better than my old one was, that's for sure. Yeah, let's just like I like to look at RSI. It's been pretty low. So usually when you get below 40, that what typically happens is you have kind of a pump up. It doesn't mean it will be forever or a really big one, but you do see that typically when the RSI gets really low, especially let's add the Bollinger Bands, especially when it's at the top, the bottom of the Bollinger Band. And that is on the 4-hour chart is what you typically use for that. So if you wanted to try trading Algorand, that's like a strategy you could use. I don't know that I recommend it. Don't use any Algorand that you aren't afraid to lose, but it is an option. It is kind of fun. Right now, kind of sitting in the middle, so I would kind of stay away from that. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, sitting on top of the charts right now, Tiny from Tiny Man, and I have to say, like, by the way, and I've talked about this before. I actually did. So I did I don't know. I'm probably gonna do this on Monday again. Let's get the daily here. On Monday, I did a live stream exclusively on my Kick account, It was pretty fun. I might do it again. All I do is talk about charts and maybe play some Algorand games if I get bored. So you definitely want to follow me on Kick if you want to see those because I just do this basically for an hour and I go even more in depth than I am today. What I like about Tiny is it's and this seems really low, but I mean it stayed. If you look, I mean it's never really gotten below 2.5 cents. It just kind of stayed in this range. So why do I like that? Well, that makes it a pretty good coin for DeFi, which I normally tell you to stay away from ASAs. This is one of the few I would trust as an ASA. And that's so far. I'll update my thing. Wow, look at Algo. That's wild. By the way, I'm just keeping an eye out for Seawell because he should be coming on in a few minutes here. But yeah, chips down a little bit on the week and on the day. Prestige down, popping up a little in the end there though. Polka Gold doing pretty well. I had to get myself some Polka Gold. DeFi, Munko's dropped quite a bit. Busk, not a big fan of Busk. Heard bad things. A dev, supposedly a dev that does a lot of rugging, and that doesn't look good. What's this chart look like? Yeah, that looks like a skedaddle. But they all kind of do. This is really common, by the way. Especially when the price rises that much. Wait a minute, negative? How do you get it? How do you start in the negative? Huh. I've never seen that before. Maybe I haven't been paying attention. Anyway, what you typically see is this big shoot up, big shoot down, which it looks like it's in the middle of, and then it will just kind of like trail off. You know what I mean? So I want to be careful what I say, but yeah, I've heard the dev is involved in multiple rug pulls. Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but you could actually, if you get one of these airdrops sent to you, your Para wallet, you can reject it and you'll get Algorand for it instead. And you just get it for free. Yeah, so Algo is one of the most fascinating stories in Algorand. It started as a rug pull. It was launched on Rug Ninja. The original dev, pulled out, closed off all his social medias. Believe it or not, actually lives. From what I understand, he lives like maybe 2 hours from where I live, which I thought was kind of interesting. I thought about doing like a BitBoy crypto, go investigate, go like confront him on it, but I'm like, yeah, not worth it because they really didn't take much. I mean, I believe this was the rug. Probably not even. I think it was just this part in here was the rug. And the community took it over, and now look, it's up. It's up at all-time high. Um, like I said, 127% in a 24-hour period. That's something. So that's Algotardio, and it's one of the most. It's definitely one of the interesting projects, and I think it's why Rug Ninja kind of works. It's hard for people to pull out a lot of liquidity. It's not impossible. I mean, they can pull some out, but what happened with Munko? Yeah, it's just kind of a rise up and a rise down. I mean, maybe it's like it almost kind of looks like just a bigger version of the boot pattern that I talk about. Hmm. Still got a 3 million, almost $3 million market cap. Votecoin, I know one of my viewers is the dev of or founder of Votecoin. Compex token working its way up 15% over the 24-hour. That's pretty good, almost 16%. Yeah, Opulus on the bottom. I'm surprised it's stayed as high as it is because they basically they're not developing on Algorand anymore after taking a ton of foundation money. I think it's horrible. So I'm not a fan of that. I think if you're going to take foundation money, you should. If you're going to take foundation money, in my opinion, you should stay on the Algorand network or at least support it, run it in parallel. I think they're keeping all their legacy stuff. They're keeping all their legacy stuff, but they're not building new on it. They moved to, I think it was Avalanche. Let's see. Rowan Villanelle says, maybe I'm wrong, but I saw someone said they got 150 algo in 24 hours for their node. It sounds too good, but will you know better? Can't find that X again, so I don't know if it's true, but I'm willing to try. Yeah, so here's the thing with the nodes. It depends on how much you stake. So you don't know what that person has staked. And some people aren't saying, so it's not like a one size fits all. The more Algorand you have staked, I think the more likely you are to propose a block. That's my understanding. If someone knows otherwise, you can correct me, but that's my understanding of how it works. So like 30,000 is the minimum, but if you have the minimum, you're probably going to propose the least number of blocks. Whereas if you had like 300,000 or 3 million or even 30 million, you can go up to 70 million. That's where it's capped. And one thing I learned, so if you have that, you're going to earn a lot more, like way more. So don't be surprised, if you see that. So yeah, I would say it's probably true. I mean, I guess you don't know for sure unless they actually provided a link, but oh, I think Sivo's here. Oh, that's weird. It doesn't tell you. Okay, let's bring him on. Sivo, what's going on?
Yo, what's good, Frugal BC?
Oh no, I can't hear you. Hold on.
Oh,
Let's see if
see. How about now?
Let me unshare this. Yeah, I can't hear you.
How about now? Let's see. Hold
It
on.
looks like it should be good on my end.
Let's see. My settings look good. Not now. You still can't hear me now?
Well, while we're waiting for Sewell to get the audio straightened out, Panda Gaming says prediction price in Algorand. I've been still going with $3 to $5. That's been kind of my well, let's see when it comes on when he's got his audio sorted here. But
here, take me off the screen if you can.
yeah, it's always something, isn't it? These live streams.
Let's see.
Yeah, so I've been saying $3 to $5. That's been my typical. Yeah, you can hear me, but I don't think you can hear. Can you hear
I
Sewell?
can hear you.
Let me know in the chat if you can hear Sewell. I can't.
Yeah, let's see. Hold on.
Let me make sure I can hear.
Roadcaster. Test.
Maybe it is on my end. Let me.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd make these things so they would just work. You know what I mean? Let's see.
I
Settings. Audio. So I got them coming to the speakers.
Interesting.
Oh, here we go.
You can hear me?
You. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. One little setting in here, and it's fixed. So. Well, how goes it? How goes it?
I'm doing well. Again, thank you for allowing me to be on the show as a guest. And what's up to the audience there? Frugal BC always doing this thing, so I appreciate it.
Heck yeah, we got some fans of Sewell in the house. Let's bring it in the chat.
Yeah. Say what's up, y'all. Say what's up.
Yeah, let them know you're here, guys. And yeah, lots of interesting crypto news this week, eh?
I could be like you a little bit.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Lots of interesting crypto news this week, eh?
Oh yeah. Lots going on. Yeah.
Hey, we
Hello, C. What's up?
Got a Sewell fan there. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to start with something kind of like a little silly, but I'm sure you were following the whole Hawk Tua thing, right?
Yeah. I was actually looking. I saw a post that made me go kind of investigate on her yesterday, so I'm ready.
You're ready. All right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull this up. Wait, hold on here. Let me get this queued up here.
Sure, I'm right.
All right.
All right, there we go.
Hopefully, everything stays the same. All right. Let me play this. Oop, where am I here?
I want to start by saying thank you to all my true fans and all the people that actually watch my stuff. And
okay, so this is something she put on. This is a short clip, and then
Right.
we're gonna talk more.
Today?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Today?
It looks like this was posted 17 hours ago. This is
I see. Last
so
night.
she had gone on a. It's kind of a long story, and this is a clip from a podcast that was recorded by FaZe Banks, and we're gonna dive into that because there's some really interesting backstory behind it. But I thought the clip to start off with was kind of interesting.
they keep up with me. We're trying to sort out all the pieces and stuff to like get all this figured out and make everything right. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Everything's gonna be good. We're gonna be good.
Just for context, this is his podcast, but I guess he came to their studio, and well, there's more backstory that we'll get to, but just for people wondering.
Guys, listen, just as a temperature check, I just want to say, the first thing that she said to me off camera was, the minute you DM me, I really wish I just texted you and called you. And that speaks to me because of how I was introduced to crypto, and we'll get into that. But I'm also kind of on the back end of things too. Like, their team's been very forthcoming. My team is vetting them the fuck out right now and has been for the last week. Thread Guy and Frank, they're going to be on this episode. It's such a weird blend and mash of worlds. No,
It rolled out.
don't cry, Haley. It's fine. It's all going to be okay. Life is going to be okay. Oh, Haley, no.
Oh, don't do that. Don't stare at me.
No.
You just
You're
yeah,
adorable.
Just
and
give
it's
us
gonna
a
be
minute.
okay. It's going to be okay.
Well, so basically, how this idea got brought to me, it was supposed to be like what do they call it, a long-term coin. And the guy that ran the account, he was like, "Oh, we're gonna change like the way everybody thinks of crypto. Crypto's gonna be a good place." And I feel really bad for all the people that got affected by it, and it just didn't go the way I planned. And all the money out of this episode is getting donated to all the animals that have been affected by the fires up here.
And I'll match it. Me, Ricky, I'll match it, whatever. It's really, really important for me to make sure that we address everything and get through all of exactly what happened. I think that it's really, really important at this point to be totally transparent about everything that happened with you and your partners and this launch and in crypto, and what makes this bad and what makes what Iggy Azalea is doing maybe even good, and what makes Trump's doing different, right? I want to get through all that.
Okay, so there's more to talk about, but just listening to that clip, like, what were your thoughts?
First of all, I'm like, obviously she don't know what's going on.
Right.
Obviously. And I do like watching all that happen. I think she did get used, but it's like, welcome to crypto, right? There's scammers everywhere.
Yep.
And the biggest scammers come from, unfortunately, those type of people, these celebrities, these teams behind people. Those are the main, threat out there. But I mean, I feel like, for one, she disappeared for 2 months, so I don't think that was a good look either, to be honest.
True.
And then, like, people lost a lot of money, it seems like, and it was like basically a straight up scam. But also, it's kind of funny. I think that this guy, I don't know who this podcaster is, but he's trying to do damage control for her. So I don't know what he got paid or what was his deal. But when I was doing research on it last night, this is before this clip came out, so yesterday, I looked at her page, I looked at her accounts. I'm like, man, she ain't posted in 2 months, right? After she did her team did a giant rug, and I was looking at all these like celebrities on there. I saw Wiz Khalifa, Mark Cuban, like,
really?
That was on her podcast.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah,
I think, so I think it's always a big issue is that they take these rando internet celebrities, especially ones like her, that remind me of like what that girl's like, Catch Me Outside. I can't remember her name, Bad Baby or something. But they get these younger people in particular, and then they use them to make money off of them. So I feel like she is a victim of the like Hollywood industry, because she also, no disrespect, but there's no like talent there. There's not really anything there. She was a meme, right?
You're right.
So all of these type of people just took advantage of her. But at the end of the day, I still, I was never like a, listener or fan of her show or nothing, but obviously I'm aware because of the internet. But it's kind of still just funny to me. Like she just unknowingly rugged these people. And
did you try watching her podcast at all?
I only saw a clip or two here and there, and I could not watch that. Yeah,
it was really bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's not like, they just,
really
and I'll
bad.
say she has like charisma or whatever, so good for her. But nah, I couldn't do it.
She
like
had
1 minute, I was like, I'm good.
Well, I was kind of blown away because her first guest was the comedian Whitney Cummings, who's like a pretty big guest, and I don't know how she did that, or how she's gotten these other big guests too. So I'm like, all right, I want to see like what this is all about, because like how did she get a guest like Whitney? Well, and then I watched, I probably made it through like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh my god, this is a train wreck. Like,
yeah, from my understanding, like what they do is like some LA person goes, oh shit, they just got a lot of attention on the internet, 1 million whatever views, will reach out. So then they reach out, and then some grifter in Hollywood calls all their contacts, and they tell the celebrity like, hey, we got a new hot thing that you should be on because it'll make you look good. So obviously they do it because they want to be associated with everything that's hot. But there's always a victim there. Obviously, It was her.
Yeah, eyeball. So my take on her was that I don't think I've ever seen somebody do more to try to capitalize on their 15 minutes of fame than Hawk Tua. She seemed to just be like diving into all this stuff. And I think she probably could have been pretty successful in that endeavor until she jumped into crypto.
Yep.
So I have for various reasons and with various different situations, I've toyed with the idea of launching a coin, and I'm like, you know what? It's just not worth it. Like, I just don't think I could do it in a way that it would make sense and provide any value and be anything more than just another pump and dump, really. So, my sense was that she probably didn't, and I don't know this for sure. I don't want to say this for sure at all, but my sense was that she probably didn't really intend to do like a rug pull. She just aligned herself with the wrong people. And so that's kind of going to bring us to the next thing that I want to highlight. So this is from this is what FaZe Banks wrote. So apparently the podcast was not supposed to go out, and it got leaked. And
this episode?
Yeah. So if you go to her site, it's not on there. And it's not on this other guy's either, I don't think.
Interesting.
But
is this another ploy? Like they
so he had, I'm gonna show you this here. This is the photo. He doesn't look very happy. But there's more to it. Okay, so let's see. Is this the
He doesn't look happy, no.
Yeah, so here's his write-up. Says, in an attempt to hear Haley Welch's side of the crypto scam story, I agreed to do her first podcast back. Oh, so I guess it was supposed to be hers. I guess I was wrong about that. I had heavy stipulations, including not. Let me make this showing up, right? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
The bottom might be a little off, but it said I had heavy stipulations, including not allowing markets to be manipulated by leaking this episode's existence before a resolution was found. Well, oops. Her team finding a real solution regarding the money she made, where that should go, and what to do with the Hawk project moving forward. He said these were non-starters. I think he meant like they were, deal breakers if they weren't accepted. And we were told this episode would only ever see the light of day if we explicitly greenlit it. So, these incompetent retards leaked and or inside traded the token. We noticed a random spike of volume on the coin 2 along with random messages asking us if we did the podcast. Very clearly, her team was not as solid as they claimed to be. They completely blew it, and we called the episode off right then and there. So he said, "Hey, we're out. No launching it." Now today, the episode randomly gets leaked, and this is from Thursday afternoon. The price of Hawk is pumping, and they completely fucking fumbled the bag yet again. What a fucking mess. Poor girl. It's a wonder how she found herself in this position in the first place. Now, Haley Welch, I'm going to speak to you direct and say the exact same thing I said to you on Spaces that night. Fire everybody. Your team's fucking retarded. Full disclosure, nobody from our team has ever or will ever own Hawk tokens. Highly advise anyone following the story to stay far, far away from this. A majority of the supply is owned by unknown developers. So
I want to start by saying thank you to all.
So what do you think about that?
I think the dude is right. Like, you know, when the thing first happened, the token launch and the rug happened. So when she was like, I'm gonna do this Twitter space, they had her film this video, and I went and tuned into the Twitter space. She wasn't even on it. It was her like manager was on it, and he was like a straight like asshole, like talking reckless, and he was rude. And I was like, oh, that's the scammer right there. He's obviously the scammer. And he had like, he was behind some other like, you know, internet sensation from a couple years ago. So it had to be that guy.
Yeah. But, are you talking about back when this whole thing went down, or did you say there was a recent one?
No, right when it went down, like a couple days later, they did that.
I listened to that one.
And she had like pre-recorded audio, and then he talked the whole time. And he was rude, like so. Like obviously, but this guy is right, but he, you know, he fumbled too because like y'all filmed it, but you didn't take all the footage. Like you,
right? Maybe
you know what I mean. So you should have took the drives, but I think she should fire everybody. Obviously, if she can, you never know what kind of contract she signed because she might be in one of those like hip hop 360 deals where she can't quit or she'll get sued. You know, because I think they were just really just out here taking advantage of her. Obviously, she doesn't know business. She's from a small town, and then LA has taken over her whole everything. Unfortunately, but he's right.
You got to be careful.
And like I said, I don't know who Fozzie or Fazy is either, but he's definitely right. Because I seen her too, a clip where she was with like Jake Paul and all these people. I wouldn't trust those guys either.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
She's gonna be fighting the Jake Paul in the next fight soon.
Yeah, right.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be wild. She's like it really interesting. Because I don't know why I really don't know why she got so famous. Like it didn't seem like she said anything particularly interesting. I guess it was I don't know, some stuff you just never know, right? Like it just blows up.
Yeah, I think it is one of those things where the internet is just like, let's just do something stupid, you know what I mean? And of course it's like all the people who support her, because people said what she said before, obviously. Like, but then you see all the videos of people trying to then replicate what she did and said.
Yeah, right. And you're just gonna go around and people are gonna be saying Hawk Tua every time you interview him about something.
Yeah, trying to get famous. But oh man, but like I said, she did a good job, or whoever did, with making her 15 minutes last for a few months. But I still kind of feel like she's finished. Like she probably lost half of what she had, I think, to be honest. A lot of people I see on Twitter don't like her now.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, you know, what a lesson. You know, she had this podcast. It was doing pretty well. Like I said, I didn't think it was very good, but people are obviously watching it, and she must have been making a pretty good living doing it. It's like, just keep doing that, you know, and you got to be kind of careful, especially with crypto, you know, just don't launch a coin. Do a little research, you know, watch how many celebrities have, you know, really kind of messed up their careers or ruined their reputations from doing crypto scams, even though they kind of get, I don't know, Jake Paul, I guess was it Jake Paul or Logan Paul? I can't keep them straight. Jake Paul.
I don't know which one is which sometime.
I think Jake was the one who did the Crypto Zoo scam thing, which was really bad. Did you ever watch CoffeeZilla's videos on that?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh my gosh, he did like a 3-part series. It's man, he's one of those he's one of those creators. When he drops a video, it's like, all right, clear the calendar. I'm throwing this on the TV and let's go. Just a great investigator, great investigative reporter, I think. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I've seen his video about the Trump coin recently.
yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
That one, the 3-part Jake Paul series, and then the one where he went on, he kept going on Twitter Spaces that Sam Bankman-Fried was on, and then
Oh yeah,
grilling him on.
yeah. I
That was
see.
great. I was watching. It was
Hilarious.
kind of fun because I was listening to the Twitter Spaces when it was happening, and then watching his recap of it was pretty interesting. So,
Yeah, that's why, like, partially, like you said earlier, I thought about dropping a coin, but I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want that responsibility, because it's like you owe people in the community to make your coin go up in value. But then it's like, if you're not building a whole bunch of different like verticals around it, I guess it's like, what
mhm.
is the value of this coin other than
Yeah,
you're, celebritizing yourself to it's kind of it kind of reminded me of like Coop coin. Like Coop had to go make all kind of crazy videos that some people liked, I guess, to try to
yeah,
make this coin get attention. And then what I seen recently, like you got Algo up, but you got, Monk
yep,
drop or Monko and all these other coins dropped that took the
mhm,
attention away from Coop coin. And that's, and Monko I think was cool because there was no like main face of a person behind it. So I think name
true.
coins are a really tough game to play. But still, shout out to Coop and shout out to the community.
Yeah, well, that kind of brings us to what I wanted to talk about next. Have you seen this with Algo?
Yes, I have. I'm kind of mind blown.
I'm mind blown too, and this is probably the most successful rug story in the history of Algorand, at least.
Thanks.
Did we talk about have we talked about the backstory, or are you aware of it?
Yeah, we have, or at least I know
Yes.
about it. We might have actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So the guy that started this about 2 hours away from me, I
Mhm.
found out he was like, and the reason I found that out is because a couple of people sent it to me. He apparently had like stolen someone's bike, and it actually made the news, like that he was on the run or something like that.
Mhm.
So I should go like I thought it might be funny to like bring a camera down to where he is and like do like a Michael Moore style confrontation thing. But it's
Yeah,
like
that'd be funny.
in a
A
way
little
it's like the
risky,
least
but funny.
successful rug because yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he apparently he tried to rug, but he must have only got like, I don't know, 10,000 or something out of this because the way Rug
Mm.
Ninja's set up, you can't just take this huge chunk of money out and it's divided out. So like he dropped the
Yep.
price a little bit. I think this middle section, I believe this middle section here is where the rug happened. And then the
Mm.
community took it over and recently it's just shot off. Now I don't know why it shot off like that. I do think it's really interesting
I
that they
have
were able to take it
a
over and yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I think because I saw, was it governance, or excuse me, the node rewards, right? They have some new thing where the Algo dropped a node and they do like a no
Oh
loss
yeah,
lottery, like
that
70% of the
that is true.
fees
That
that
is
they earn go to a random winner that's a part of the node. So I think that right there, I think is giving it attention. Yeah, Fisherman dropped it. Yeah, talked about that. So
yeah,
that's
here
my
it is.
idea of why it will pump like
Yep.
that. But meme coins, I can't, no rhyme or reason why which one pumps in my mind.
Mm. Yeah, it's already validated. Lucky Staker wins 70% of the rewards app built using Ready as a primitive, and I'm proud to see it live. Don't take to the
Mhm.
validator, go there. So yeah, you can go right here and put your stake in, and you might be the winner. What do you think about that?
I, I think for that, I think it's a good idea. However, I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna put my stake on a known rugger. You know what I mean? Not saying they can rug like that. But
Well, I mean, do you want to put it on like a lottery? Like, because
I don't know.
I think the the benefit of staking is that you have kind of like this steady, slow but steady trickle of rewards, and here it's more like kind of like gambling, right?
What I just found out, because I did a node on with Valar. Yeah, there we go, Valar.
Oh yeah.
And what I found out, you're still kind of just gambling anyway, because if you basically I'm watching the other guys that got nodes that talk about it all the time, but it seems like all the ones that keep posting like I'm getting all these algos, they have like 1 million algos in their
Oh
node or
right.
something like that. So it kind of turns into the same situation as most things. Like if you have 1 million algos, 500,000 algos, you're the one that's more likely to get the reward, and the people that have like 30,000 or 100,000 or less, you're gambling kind of. That's
Yeah.
what I'm starting to notice.
Well, that's true. Before I comment, I want to give a shout out to Gary Loves Algo. He says also, "What's good, Sewell? Good to see you."
Hey, what's good, Gary? What's good?
But yeah, that's
And hello,
interesting.
Roam.
Yeah, Rowan had said, maybe I'm wrong. I saw someone said they got 150 algo in 24 hours for their node. Sounds too good, but well, you know better. Um, and you know what I told him, and yeah, that just what you said too. Like it kind of depends on how much you have staked, and so
Yep.
that's a really good point. If you have a lot staked, and then you got to remember all
It's
these
a well game.
validators are gonna, all these validators, these ready pools. I mean, a lot of them are going to be maxed out. So you're
Yep.
probably, I wonder if you're almost better off in a ready pool than you are in and you are just like doing your own node, unless you have, you know, I don't have 30 million algo or anything like that. I don't know about you, but
No, I don't either. I mean, so
but
I'm starting to think that liquid staking, if you don't have like a lot of algos, and a lot depends on
mhm,
what you think a lot is, but if you don't have a few 100,000 or 1 million algos, the liquid staking might be the best way to go. Because also remember,
mhm,
running a node, you're competing against the platforms that have like 10 million algos on there.
right. Yeah.
And then, so if you're just a part of their crew, then they're just dividing the rewards out to everybody, and you get your percent regardless on how many, nodes. So that's what I'm kind of starting to see on there.
Mhm. No, that's a good point. I've been testing out the tiny man liquid staking, but I've been really bad about tracking it. So I've got to like be a little more diligent about that.
Mhm.
And I've had a little bit staked on the Marcus Aurelius ready pool. So
Mhm.
also been bad about tracking. I gotta be more diligent about tracking so I can run my experiment. But I kind of wanted to try out a few different options. Yeah. So yeah, what was your feeling on Valar overall?
So I had to do a lot of research because I get nervous trying out new things, to be
Hmm.
honest. So I had to ask around, I researched, I read up on all the documents, I did everything, and then I actually used it. And it actually was very easy and simple to use, and
That's
it's
good.
like secure from my understanding. And obviously you don't send your algos out. So that's the part that I like. It reminds me of Algorand governance, where you're signing a contract basically. So you just pay a fee, and you set your, like, well, first you set your like time, 30 days, 90 days, 60 days, and then the contract will populate, and you pay in either algo or USDC, and then you pay the fee. As always, read every single thing that's on there before you sign it, so you make sure that your algos or nothing is sent out. But it was pretty affordable, easy to do, and then easy to track. And then I used the validator for Valar in particular, so I used the platforms validators that they set up.
Oh, okay.
Then yeah, so I felt more comfortable with them, obviously, because that's their
Mhm.
platform. And then you can write to them on Twitter easily and everything like
Right.
that. But it was easy, and I think it was smart play for them to build this platform, honestly. Like I
Mhm.
said, but the more algos you have, the better shot you have regardless.
Yeah. I was going to ask you too, because when I first, I heard it talked about on the foundation Twitter space that they did right before node staking went live. And I actually kept a tab up on my computer to see when it would go live. And I think it was like later that night it went live. And
Mhm.
then there were like two options. And I was gonna just put 100 algo in to see what it does,
Mhm.
and the fees were way more than I would have made. Because I mean, what I could make over a year, you'd make like 6.5 algo on 100, so it would have been,
Yep.
a quarter of that, and it was like the fees were like 50 algo or something like that. So I'm like, oh, so you'd have to do like a high volume, but that was like right when it went live, and there were only like 2 options. So I'm sure
Mm.
there's like better
Yeah, there's
options
better
now.
deals, yeah, now. But I still, I think it's like one of those situations. Like if I can at least, break even or make more, then it'll be worth it. But if I go under in terms of if I paid more than what I received, then no, it's not going to be worth it.
Yeah,
And I
for
had
sure.
trouble. I was trying to run a node on my extra laptop for myself, and I was using the stake node, or the what's it called, the one click node, or node kit, I mean. And I had a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of trouble trying to set it up. I tried for a long time, to the point where I was like, all right, I won't run the node then. Then I was like, okay, let me use Valar. That's my only other option. So that's why I'm doing that.
Oh, interesting. So you did try
Yeah,
to
I had
run your own
trouble.
node.
Yeah, with a MacBook too. So I don't understand. I couldn't get past like the syncing or one of the steps on there, so I
Mm.
did all the stuff you're supposed to do, but my computer wouldn't, for some reason, wouldn't allow it to work. So I gave up after trying forever.
Well, that's interesting because that's kind of what I did way back trying to use OS one click node, and like it was really
I tried that
simple.
too.
Yeah, it was really simple, except it just was continually trying to connect basically. Like I did everything.
Mhm.
I got it all set up, and then yeah, it was taking forever to sync, and it never synced. So yeah, so here's some of the options. So like one, it looks like it's a zero price. Some are like 50, 100. Yeah, I don't. This
Yeah,
is
because you
on.
got it set at 90 days at the top,
Yeah, so if you do longer,
or I think shorter. I think you only go
shorter.
go up to 90 days.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So yeah, I think 30, 60, and 90.
Oh, interesting.
I
But yeah,
think because of that zero you got up there.
this one is free, huh? Or well, it says occupation 02 though. So
Yeah, then
interesting.
they can fill up at four occupations. But I think because you have your duration at 0.30, I think you just need to do 30.
Hmm. Well,
And then
anyway,
if you do algo, more people accept algo than USDC. I saw.
that's probably true.
Yeah, there you go. It updated when you.
Hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of them are Valar.
Oh yeah, so these are the Vlar ones.
Yeah.
Is this assuming like the max stake?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it's not going to let me unless I connect my wallet. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad to hear your experience on it because I was kind of curious about it.
Well, yeah, I'll say it's legit so far. I have no issues.
That's cool. Jeffrey in the chat. What's up, Jeffrey? How you doing? Channel
What's
member.
good,
Good to see
Jeffrey?
you. Good to see you. Yeah. So it's been interesting seeing the results. I was hoping more people. I think a lot of people don't want to say like what the stake they're putting in is, and
Yeah, of
so
course. Yeah.
yeah. So then then you don't know. Then it's like, well, you can get the total, but it doesn't really tell you anything because you don't know how much they're staking, like how much they're
Mhm.
making.
Just know if they're making a lot every day, they have a lot. That's what I would say.
Right. Exactly. Let's see. I wanted to go over.
It's a whale game.
Right.
Mhm.
I guess it was nice that they capped it at 70 million, but it's still pretty high, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's high. So after a while, it'd be like only institutions will have it worth it. If that happens.
Well, because then someone asked me, they're like, well, what if they're like, is Coinbase ever going to bring back algo staking? And I'm like, well, I guess they kind of could, but they'd have to
run a node.
it might be, yeah, they'd probably have to run like a series of nodes to make it work as an institution. And I don't know if like that's something they would just do on their own. I assume that's something like they would have to make some partnership with Algorand on.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
So I thought this was interesting. So Gavin.algo, let me make sure that's showing up. Yes, okay. Gavin.algo said, when will Algorand offer private transfers? That'd be so cool. D3 Joker said, yeah, this will be a killer feature. John Allen Woods, I think I talked about this a few times. Can we have a bit of an idea how things are going on this front? And he says, we'll have ZKP, zero knowledge proof based private tokens this year, I expect. I didn't see that coming. Did you?
No, I didn't. That's interesting.
Yeah, he just posted this yesterday at 3:44 a.m. my time, but he's in Ireland, right? So
yeah,
so probably time zone thing. But I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I wonder how that would work, and what kind of private token transactions could you make?
Yeah, what's it going to be like an ASA?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Because how could you turn USDC private? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if this is like a separate application, but if it is, then wouldn't that be someone outside the ecosystem doing that, not necessarily, or are they providing the code? It's definitely sparks some interest, huh?
Yeah, very interesting. I'm definitely gonna be following this story, I guess, see what happens. He said expect this year.
That's what he said. Yeah, he's I know John Woods is a big Monero fan. He's talked about that a bunch of times, and I know he's a big fan of like the privacy coin movement.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll see.
Here's Monko is going to teach us how this works. Let's see how that's showing up. Oh yeah, that's good. Transaction private with an anonymity with zero knowledge proof. The sender, recipient, and amount of a transaction can be hidden from the public ledger. For example, transactions in Zcash, a well-known ZKP-based cryptocurrency, can be shielded, meaning only the parties involved in the transaction know the details. Confidentiality. Monko smart, yeah. He's teaching us how it is. Confidentiality, the amounts transferred are not visible on the blockchain unless explicitly made public by the users involved. So yeah, I guess it seems like an ASA could do that, I guess, if you programmed it right. But I guess I don't know enough about that side of it.
Yeah, you might have to, like I said, a privacy coin that's like a private algo or something that was probably like wrapped, or ASA that then can move value privately. It has to be a contract.
Right.
Interesting.
So anyway, yeah, I just thought that was I thought that was like a cool little tidbit. I don't think I'd shared that on my channel at all. So well, while I got you here for a little bit, I'm probably going to go for a little bit longer, but I know you're a big fan of Based. Anything interesting going on in the Based ecosystem, or Base, I guess?
Yeah, what's going on? Because I just filmed a video about Base. Well, I saw on Base, I mostly track what's happening with Moonwell protocol. That's the borrowing and lending protocol.
Oh yeah,
and then so they have put in a proposal. Not a proposal's not through, but a discussion has started. So for governance, it goes like discussion in the forum, then it turns into an on-chain snapshot. Then you vote for the snapshot to be approved, so that way it can have a real on-chain vote. So they just put in a discussion about doing a revenue sharing program. So if you got the Moonwell token and you stake it right now, you earn like 7%, and then you're eligible to be a voter and you help secure the protocol. So if this proposal goes all the way through on chain, you can be earning up to almost 20% on your Moonwell token. So I think that's massive. Yeah, because they just hit another all-time high on fees. I think it was like 262,000 of like revenue or something like that for the last month. I think that's what it was. So it's a high producing platform, like big time. And so I think that was cool. And then Aerodrome also has a similar program where it's like you have your arrows, the main token, and then you stake it for a certain amount of time, which is up to like 4 years. I remember AlgoFi was trying to do something like that, but then they do essentially a revenue share there as well. So revenue sharing, I'm seeing is the big thing happening right now. And Aerodrome does like over $1 million a week in like revenues. Yeah, so
Wow.
that part is crazy. So I'm excited. I'm hoping that proposal go also all the way through. So that way, as a a holder of Moonwell, you can get some of those like that buybacking in. Basically, they collect all the fees that they give from the USDCs, the arrows, the Ethereums, the Bitcoins. Then they take that, do an auction, and then that auction will basically purchase back Moonwell, and then give it out to the stakers. So that sounds cool. Those two things are what I'm bullish about. And then otherwise, like Base as a whole is definitely growing like crazy. I think that now it's the number one Ethereum L2, like bigger than Arbitrum, Polygon, all of them. And then they're looking to expand in like Kenya, they're expanding in India, South America, and they're just like bringing people on chain and really pushing payments and the creator economy like big time. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I know. Crypto for Change just got me into the whole
Yeah.
Warpcast
Mhm.
Farcaster thing. So I've been playing around with that a little bit. Well, sometime I should in the future I
Oh,
should
yeah.
have you and him on to talk kind of like a
Oh,
base 101
you should
sort of a
definitely do
thing.
that. I think that would be fun because
I think
I'm
that
deep in base.
I think
Obviously, I'm
that'd be a
still
lot of
deep in
fun.
Algorand, but I'm now officially like really deep in base.
Wow, would you say you're more base than Algorand at this point?
Right now,
Or
yeah, I'll say
50
probably
50 maybe?
50-50. Yeah, because Algorand, like again,
That's
we
cool.
kind of, knowing everything that's going on. I really like the MasterCard thing. Like, however, we're in the US, so we can't even do
Yeah.
anything with it. So, but
For now, but I think that's maybe like
yeah,
6 months
but
away, I
I
heard.
use the Moonwell card. It's a Visa
Yeah.
card via on the base blockchain. So I have that access now, and so the difference is like,
Oh,
and
that's
I like
cool.
Algorands too, but it's just a different use case. So with Algorands, like I made a post
Mhm.
about this actually the other day, where I was like, I went to this store and they had this money services line. So like a lot of people are cashing checks, sending money home, Western Union type style. But with Moonwell, eventually the bank accounts will drop this year. So you can get you a routing number and a bank account that's US, even if you're outside the country. So you give that to your employer. The employer
Oh, wow.
deposits right into your bank account. The bank account automatically converts it into USDC. And then you can have it automatically send the USD to a vault. Then on that vault, you can earn 5-10% on your USDC and then load that money into your Visa card. So you have a full US bank account, a full debit card, and you have a savings account all tied into one. And then you'll have a physical or a virtual debit card. So that's like the difference I see there is like, so then that allows someone who's out the country to like, you don't have to be like, oh, send it to my crypto wallet and send it to your bank account. And that's a game
That's
changer
cool.
for I think a lot of people. So when they go into
It
these other
is.
countries and like, hey, it's bigger than just you can spend crypto. It's like, no, you can actually bank on chain. And then instead of wiring money, because I see stuff where you got Western Union, like somewhere randomly in Kenya or in El Salvador, somewhere random that that doesn't have as high level of banking as we have in the United States. You don't now have to go to Western Union to send money to your folks.
That's what I've been saying for a long time. I see all these companies building yet another DeFi platform
You
on
don't need to know.
Algorand. I'm like, why can't someone build something where it makes it really, really easy for like
Mhm.
a normie person to send
Yep.
money to their, family in another country on chain? And just that's what I've been asking that for a long time. I don't know how complicated that
It's
is, but it
happening right now.
sounds like Base is
Yeah.
working on it's
So
happening on Base.
because
So
with Algorand,
that's
I thought
awesome.
about it deeply to compare it a little bit, and I was like, wait, with Algorand, it's great you can spend, but you basically need a Coinbase account, you need a Binance account, you need a bank account, you need you know, obviously most people's smartphones you can do what you can do. So that's not that everybody has a smartphone now. You can get one for $50, but it's the
Right.
bank account situation. Like you need that to go buy USDC from Coinbase or Binance to send it to your Algo wallet to even be able to spend it. And then with that setup, you don't need none of that. You can just like accept a check, and then there you go. And
Right.
then if your folks are at home, you can literally send them the debit card or have them open it up on their phone, and then you can just load money on there for whoever in whatever country, and everywhere accepts Visa. MasterCard is like a number 2. So yeah, and I
True.
agree. Like we
True.
don't necessarily. I think the DeFi is fine. It's getting spread thin on Algorand, though. I love the DeFi on Algorand, and Algorand's still like the smoothest blockchain. But I think we need some of that type of innovation.
Mm-hmm.
In my humble
No, that's what I've
opinion.
been saying for a long time. So yeah, no, we're yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do that base episode. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Hey, do you you got a few minutes yet?
I got a couple more minutes and I gotta run.
Or you gotta run? Okay. You want to go through this just part of this press conference that the White House
Yeah, dude.
did?
I gotta change my camera battery real quick, but I'm listening. Let me turn my screen off for a second.
Okay, sounds good. I'll kind
I
of
got the
start with
headphones
this thing
in.
then. Yeah, sure. Yep. So yeah, All in Crypto actually had a good version of this. I just want to go through David Sachs' part of it because I thought it was kind of interesting. I like what he did where he had the I'm gonna have to back up a little bit. He had Bitcoin's price like in as like the second screen. I thought that was really funny. Let's just
to be
watch
invited
a
to
little bit
Capitol
of this.
Hill here to speak alongside such distinguished leaders from both the House and the Senate. I want to thank Chairman Tim Scott, Chairman French Hill, Chairman John Bozeman, and Chairman G.T. Thompson. So thank you all for your leadership and commitment to addressing some of the most important opportunities of our time in ensuring that the U.S. remains at the forefront of innovation and digital assets. The president said in his executive order in the first week that it's the policy of his administration to support the responsible growth and use of digital assets, blockchain technology, and related technologies across all sectors of the economy. And he established an executive branch working group for digital assets, which includes Secretary Besson at Treasury, Secretary Noem, soon to be confirmed Attorney General Bondi, Secretary Letnick at Commerce, and all the other key administration officials that have an equity in crypto. And similarly, the SEC has set up a crypto task force led by Hester Peirce, which is also looking at this issue. And together, our objective is to accomplish the task the president assigned for us in his EO, which is to propose a federal regulatory framework governing the issuance and operation of digital assets, including stablecoins, in the United States. I've talked to many founders over the past few years, and they've told me repeatedly that the number one thing they need from Washington is regulatory clarity. They just want to know what the rules of the road are so they can abide by them. We're coming off, frankly, 4 years of arbitrary prosecution and persecution of crypto companies where the SEC wouldn't tell founders what the rules were, but then they would prosecute them.
And that's just insane, by the way. Like, I just can't believe our government operated that way for 4 years.
Yeah, that is insane.
I mean, I just don't understand it. It's so it can only be obfuscation. That's the only thing you can think of, because it's like, well, if you want people to comply with the law, you kind of have to tell them what it is. And Coinbase dealt with this, or they got a Wells notice. They said, all right, well, what did we do wrong? What can we not do to not be wrong? And they just flat out said they wouldn't tell him. It was insane. But yeah, this is really short. There's only another couple minutes of his part.
Many founders have even told me stories of being debanked personally just because they had founded a crypto company. All of this approach was driving this important technology of the future offshore, and we want to keep that innovation onshore in the US. Financial assets are destined to become digital, just like every analog industry has become digital, and we want that value creation to happen in the United States rather than giving it away to other countries. This will also, I should add, be much better for consumer protection because it's easier for regulators to supervise an activity when it's onshore. And it's probably not a coincidence that the single biggest fraud in the history of crypto, which was FTX, was based in Bahamas. By moving the innovation onshore, it'll be easier to separate out the good actors from the bad actors. And we want to encourage the good actors, the innovators, while protecting the market from the bad actors. And I think a market structure legislation with clear definitions and fair rules will do that. I want to say additionally, we're excited about working with both the House and Senate on stablecoin legislation. I know Senator Hagerty introduced a bill today. This stablecoins really have the potential to ensure American dollar dominance internationally, to increase the usage of the U.S. dollar digitally as the world's reserve currency, and in the process create potentially trillions of dollars of demand for U.S. treasuries, which could lower long-term interest rates. So let me stop there, and I want to thank the chairman here today. Chairman.
Sorry, he just thanks a whole bunch of people, but I love that. I love that All In Crypto had put this chart, this 1 minute chart on the right, and it just sinks. I don't. What do you make of that?
Because it was looking like it was bullish, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, there we go. I don't know. Like the people's like, we don't want regulation. We don't want good business.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is or it just, is completely unrelated. But I have to think this is probably the most significant news in crypto going on at the at the time, and I found it really strange. I do really like. So David Sachs was he was on the All In podcast, unrelated to All In Crypto, just complete. I don't know if you ever listened to that one. It's a bunch of like VC founders and David, and so he ended up getting tapped for this crypto and AI task force, which I think is really, really fascinating. So I've heard him on this podcast for a couple months, and then all of a sudden he's in the White House. Pretty reasonable guy. I think he's got some good ideas, and it kind of seems like in terms of crypto anyway, like the adults are in the room. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think the time of like uncertainty with crypto in the United States is over. And now it's kind of like, what direction does the country want to go? And I think, of course, Bitcoin is a big focus, but I believe the on-chain finance will be the next like type of thing that they would want to focus on, is just the payment infrastructure. So I talked about this on the podcast I had recently with the Moonwell founder, and we were talking about USDC. So if you can, dominate via USDC, that would be very smart for the United States to kind of do that, because now you're exporting the US dollar in the digital form and not just the full dollar. So if you can reach all these rural areas of different countries and cities that don't have great payment infrastructure before, let's say like BRICS does with whatever they're doing, you would actually help the US grow and spread. And then the only way to do that is by supporting Coinbase, supporting the US startups and things of that nature that's related to crypto. So I think I think that's where they should go. If they had me on the council, that's what I would be pushing.
Right.
But I think that type of stuff, and stay away from meme coins, Trump, that's what I would do. NFTs, I would say personally stay away from NFTs unless you're doing it in the proper way, where it's like it's just art, like how it, like if it's art, that's fine, but or the utility, like the ones that are behind the scenes, like Lofty and TravelX, that all makes sense. But I think the NFTs had a bad issue where every NFT you had to like owe the person you sold it to something. And I remember someone hit me up about my NFT before, and it was like, not mine, but like it was Poppin' Puffin's NFT. It was like, oh man, they didn't even keep building the project. But I was like, from my understanding, when I purchased NFTs, what they sold was art, and the NFT you have acquired was art. Anything else was extra. But they hold this whole like, I owe the customer for buying my art is like an insane thing to me.
Oh yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, like I buy them, I just buy them. I haven't bought that many NFTs, but when I do, I just buy it to have it, and that's the end of it. So, that's another thing I thought about getting into. Like maybe my channel should have its own NFTs or something. But then I started studying it. I'm like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, it might be worse than a coin.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's kind of wild, and because I had an artist in town that was. She's like, hey, if you like do the technical side, we can like split the revenues or whatever. If you help, I'll provide the art, you provide the revenue, or the technical side of it, because she's not really a crypto person at all.
Yeah.
And the more I looked into it, I'm like, well, I don't know that there's a market for, it's an artist just saying, hey, here's my work, you can buy it, and you're supporting art, and that's the end of it. And I guess I find that really. I find that odd because that's not what I thought it was originally. But yeah, there does seem to be this this expectation of some kind of utility, or like you're going to get rewards or stuff like that. I don't know. It's weird.
So for me, like I've been releasing podcasts on a platform called Pods, and they come in the form of an NFT. I think that is a great utility, right? Because you can collect people's podcasts and you can just listen to it on your crypto wallet and things of that nature. It's amazing. And then also I've done music NFTs where you can just have an art of music on your phone. So it's like a Spotify player. This is all in the Coinbase wallet. So I love those two utilities because it's like, it's us YouTubing, it's us dropping a podcast, but now it's in the form of NFT. So for the creator economy, I just think that's more utility than looking at a piece of art on my phone, to be honest, because I can do it or watch a video. And then when it comes to, I miss Alchemon because I thought Alchemon had it great, where it's like you have a certain amount of characters, and then the only way you can access these characters if you own the NFT. So then having an NFT in your wallet, connecting your wallet, now you have playable characters that you purchase as NFTs. I think that model is amazing. So
they're coming back.
I hope so.
Did you see that?
Some NFTs. I did see that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I found like the crypto community doesn't like you kind of ducking out. You know what I mean?
No, they don't.
I mean, his explanation kind of made sense of what happened. I'm sure like that stuff like that happens, but it's like, I think with crypto, even more so than like a regular company, and it's still really important in a regular company, but especially with crypto, you can't just like take off and be like, oh, sorry guys. Yeah, I had to go, but I'm back now. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
People don't like that.
Can't do that. No.
Yeah, they just don't they don't support it. So
no, not at all. But Frugal BC, I appreciate you. I do have to run.
You got it.
Let's definitely do this again. If you grab Crypto for Change, we should definitely do that base ecosystem 101. He'll love that.
I want to do that for sure. I know he will love that. So yeah, we'll definitely set that up in the near future. But appreciate you coming on, brother. Take care.
Definitely. And y'all have a good one. Peace, y'all.
All right. I don't know if I have too much more, but that was a lot of fun having him on. Miguel says, how much potential does Memsai have? I don't know anything about that, Miguel, but appreciate you being here. Yeah, I think I got to get going too. Got a good hour and a half. It was a good stream. Shout out to, if you haven't already subscribed, by the way, guys, if you're on YouTube, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Shows the video to more people, and it will help afterwards too. So don't worry that it's the end of the stream. Another shout out to our sponsors, Non-Fungible Domains and Marcus Aurelius. We got links in the description below, so be sure to check that out, along with a lot of good, cool crypto stuff in there. I don't talk about it a lot, but there's a lot of cool stuff in there, like Ledger. You can get your Ledger from there, so go check that out. Otherwise, yeah, if you're on Kick, I saw I got 7 followers now, so appreciate that. Be sure to follow me on Kick. And if you're on X, give me a subscribe there. Or just a follow, I mean. I don't have subscriptions on there, but you can like the video as well. Otherwise, hey, appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks so much, and I will see you as always. Oh, how do I end the stream? Oh, I don't know how to end the stream on this one. Oh, here it is, a little button on top. Yeah, so I will see you in the future.